David White, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu meets King Charles III at COP28 summit in Dubai. CBN to freeze bank accounts without BVN NIN starting April 2024. Plus, United States House of Representatives expel Congressman George Santos from Congress. We'll bring you details of stories and many more, but in a moment. First, in the news within the week is Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who had met with King Charles III on the sidelines of a COP28 climate summit in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. In a post on his X handle, the president said he had a productive engagement with the 75-year-old monarch. Reports say Tinubu will deliver the Nigerian government's position on climate action on Friday as the rest of the Africa and developing nations demand better deal in the quest to transition clean energy future. Recall that President had departed Abuja for Abu Dhabi, UAE, shortly after presenting his first ever annual national water tree proposal to a joint sitting of the National Assembly. Meanwhile, President Tinubu during the week ordered a massive rehabilitation of dilapidated federal roads across the country. The roads include the Makurdi-Nsukka 9th Mile East-West Road, Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, Benin Bypass, collapsed bridges of Enugu-Port Harcourt Road, collapsed bridges of Shandam Plateau, Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano, and Gombe-Bauchi roads, among others. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, in a statement noted that despite inheriting 6 trillion naira deficit in the road infrastructure, President Tinubu is determined to confront the challenges. According to him, the president urged the public to track the project and give appropriate feedbacks to the government. In the meantime, the president of the course of the week appointed Pius Akinyi-Alure as the non-executive board chairman of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) and also retained Mele Kyari as organization's Group Chief Executive Officer (GCEO). A statement by Tinubu's spokesperson Ajuri Ngalale said the door is part of a new board and management of NNPCL. Ngalale said the appointment, which is in compliance with Section 59, Subsection 2 of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, takes effect from December 1, 2023. Apart from Kyari and Akinyi-Alure, other members of and board of the management include Omar Ajiya, Chief Financial Officer, Ledum Mite, Non-Executive Director, Musa Tumsa, Non-Executive Director, Charlie Gali Mohammed, Non-Executive Director, Professor Mustafa Aliyu, Non-Executive Director, David Obodo, Non-Executive Director, and Eunice Thomas, Non-Executive Director. Furthermore, the president also approved the appointment of 2 permanent secretaries, namely Okokonudo, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Finance, and Gabriel Aduda, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources. Meanwhile, President Tinubu within a week said Nigeria's national defense and internal security, local job creation, macroeconomic stability, human capital development, social security, poverty reduction, and investment environment optimization are some of the top priorities of the 2024 budget of the Renewed Hope agenda. Tinubu said this while addressing a joint session of the National Assembly in Abuja during the presentation of the 2024 federal budget proposal. According to him, Nigeria's internal security architecture will be overhauled to enhance law enforcement capabilities with a view to safeguarding lives, properties, and investment across the nation. The president set a conservative oil price benchmark of $77.96 per barrel, and a daily oil production estimate of 1.78 million barrels per day were adopted after a careful review of global oil market trends. And a naira to US dollar exchange rate of 750 naira per US dollar was adopted for 2024 as well.
It is my honor to be here today to present my administration's 2024 budget proposal to this joint session of the 10th National Assembly. This moment is especially profound and significant to me because it is my first annual budget presentation to the National Assembly. Distinguished senators and honorable members of the National Assembly, I commend your swift consideration and passage of the 2023 Supplementary Appropriation Bill and the 2024 to 2026 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Physical Strategy paper. Your prompt action underscores
debate on the 2024 budget, the day after President Bola Tinubu presented the budget of 27.5 trillion naira to a joint session of the National Assembly. Leading the debate on the central principles of the 2024 appropriation bill during the plenary, the Senate Leader Opeyemi Bamidele announced that the bill is deemed to have been read for the first time by the presentation before the joint session of the National Assembly. Hence, the commencement of a general debate. He urged the lawmakers to approve the second reading of the 2024 appropriation bill for consideration by the Appropriation Committee and Subcommittee. Opeyemi said the budget was designed to prioritize electricity challenges, procurement of vaccines, construction of major roads across the country, and construction of a railway project, adding that the parameters and fiscal assumptions of the proposed budget would develop economic activities of the country and transform living conditions of Nigerians. Supporting the motion, Senator representing Delta South, Joel Thomas, said when the budget is passed, it would facilitate a renewed hope for Nigerians. Meanwhile, the Senate yesterday asked the federal government to withhold statutory allocations to any local government councils not democratically elected. The upper chamber unanimously resolved that the move would deter the dictatorial tendencies of any state governor. This resolution comes against the backdrop of a motion moved by Senator Abba Moro for the urgent need to halt the erosion of democracy vis-a-vis the dissolution of elected councils in Benue State. The lawmakers argued that the placement of caretaker committees to replace elected councils is an aberration, undemocratic, and a breach of Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. Senator Victor Ome, representing Anambra Senatorial District, who seconded the motion, lamented that the issue has continued to undermine the local government system in Nigeria. The Senate therefore condemned the arbitrary dissolution of democratically elected local government councils in Benue and other states of the Federation. In the meantime, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio within the week stated that the National Assembly will collaborate with the Nigerian Society of Engineers (NSE) to develop beneficial legislation that will accelerate the manufacturing sector. Akpabio made this known at the opening ceremony of the 2023 National Engineering Conference in Abuja. The Senate President, while stressing on the theme of the conference, re-engineering the manufacturing sector for competitiveness and enhanced economic growth, said infrastructure development is the backbone of any successful manufacturing industry, but it required good and friendly legislation and regulations to drive the growth. To the Green Chambers now, where the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, during the week called for a synergy between the government and professional engineers in the country towards massive infrastructure development. Abbas said these at the 2023 Nigerian Society of Engineers NSE National Engineering Conference Exhibition and Annual General Meeting in Abuja. Abbas, represented by the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, said the collaboration is significant in the pursuit of the sustainable growth and development. The Speaker added that the theme of the event aligned with national goals, which emphasize the vital role of engineering in shaping the future. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives in the course of the week grilled the management of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission NUPRC about declining signature bonus income. The chairman of the House Committee on Finance, James Falake, disclosed this during an interactive session with income-generating agencies in Abuja. According to the document presented to the committee, they expected 251 billion naira revenue from signature bonuses in the fiscal year 2024 would fall to zero by 2026. The legislators questioned the Commission on the proceeds from the transfer of Federation properties to Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPCL. The commission is scheduled to provide information on its engagement in signature bonuses, as well as steps put in place to increase the monetization of the country's oil assets. In the meantime, the House of Representatives has also threatened to hand over management of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority (NCAA) to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) over the alleged missing of 43 billion naira. The chairman of the House Committee on Finance, James Falake, issued a notification in Abuja during the week in an interactive session with revenue-generating agencies. According to the records given to the committee, the NCAA declared 12.7 billion naira in revenue from the share of gross revenue allotted to industry regulating organizations. The legislator, however, stated that the amount was less than the NCAA's projected gross revenue share of 66 billion naira realized from both domestic and international travel revenues in 2022. Still from the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives Committee on University Education within the week promised to work towards ending recurring strikes in the universities in the country. The chairman of the committee, Abubakar Fulata, said these at a meeting with the Executive Secretary of the National University Commission and Vice Chancellors of Federal Universities in Abuja. He said the House leadership had created 6 committees out of the previous 2 for quality oversight. Fulata noted that the committee was working towards ensuring quality, reliable, easy access, and rewarding university education. According to him, the challenges required collective efforts to address, including the intervention of the committee and contributions of all well-meaning Nigerians. Away from that, President Bola Tinubu during the week indicated that the federal government is considering reintroducing the policy of university full autonomy to promote progress and minimize external impediments. The decision is consistent with the government's belief that university autonomy allows institutions to develop at their own pace. Tinubu expressed confidence in the proposed strategy while speaking through the Minister of Niger Delta Development, Engineer Abubakar Momo, during the University of Benin's 48th convocation event over the weekend. In his speech, the president highlighted university employees' concerns about unpaid salaries. He announced a 4-month wage payment to all university employees to ameliorate the problem. Meanwhile, the federal government, through the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, in the course of a week revealed how it intends to tackle the electricity issues bedevouring the country. The minister suggested that the approach adopted by his predecessors has not worked, saying the plans to adopt a bottom-up approach. According to him, his new approach would ensure that the country has an adequate supply of power in the not-so-distant future, as opposed to the top-to-bottom strategy adopted by former ministers. Delabu made this known in Abuja at the roundtable for the legislature, judiciary and other stakeholders in the power industry on emerging issues, especially in the reenactment of the Electricity Act 2023. He argued that what the nation has always lacked is not competent engineers to get the work done, but the political will and the right leadership to drive improvement in power supply. In the meantime, the federal government within the week initiated a process to resolve challenges bordering on the supply and pricing of liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, in the domestic market. The intervention in cooking gas has followed the rise in recent months in the price for a kilogram of LPG from about 700 naira to above 900 naira in some parts of the country. The Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Gas, in a statement by his spokesman, Louis Siba, expressed concerns of President Bola Tinubu on the astronomical increase and attendant hardship on the citizenry. Ekpo, while highlighting Nigeria's abundant gas reserves, expressed disapproval of multinational firms prioritizing gas export over allocating significant volumes for the domestic market, deeming it unacceptable. Consequently, he established a committee to provide recommendations within a week on how to enhance supplies and reduce pricing. Elsewhere, the federal government during the week warned farmers against selling or diversion of 2023 dry season farming inputs. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, met the call at the official flag-off of the 2023 dry season wheat development season under the National Agricultural Growth Scheme, NAGSA, in Jigawa State. Kyari said that dry season farming is an integral part of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro Pockets NAGSA project, made possible by a $134 million loan facility advanced to Nigeria by the African Development Bank, AFDB. The minister added that the present administration resolved to expand the capacity of farmers to engage them in the cultivation of key staples like rice, maize, cassava, and wheat. Across the country, urged the farmers to utilize support to achieve their targeted objectives. In a separate development, the Supreme Court in the course of a week ordered the old 200, 500 and 1,000 naira notes to continue to coexist with the new notes till further notice. The apex court ruled that both old and new notes should continue to remain legal tender until the federal government put a process in place for its replacement or redesign after due consultation with relevant stakeholders. Recall that in mid-November 2022, the Central Bank of Nigeria's CBN had said that old notes would remain legal tender indefinitely. In another development, the Central Bank of Nigeria's CBN says it will freeze accounts without a bank verification number, BVN, or a national identification number, NIN, from April 2024. This is according to a circular by the Apex Bank, which instructed banks to place a post-no-debit restriction which prevents customers from making withdrawals, transfers, or any other debits for all existing Tier 1 account and wallet without BVN or NIN, effective from March 1, 2024. The circular by the CBN Director of Payment System Management Department, Chibuzo Ifobi, and the Director of Financial Policy and Regulation Department, Haruna Mustafa, also said that all BVN or NIN attached to account and wallet must be electronically revalidated by January 31, 2024. According to the bank, a BVN or NIN verification will be conducted shortly, adding that the move is part of its efforts to promote financial system stability and strengthening of Know Your Customer (KYC) procedures in financial institutions. In education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, within a week said the registration for its 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculations Examination (UTME) will begin from January 15, 2024 and end in February 16, 2024. Similarly, the board in a statement said it fixed March 7, 2024 for its mock UTME, while the main UTME will be held from April 19 to 29, 2024. In the statement released by its spokesman, Fabian Benjamin, the board explained that the dates were fixed based on a series of recommendations emanating from a two-day information technology IT and management retreat held between 26 and 28 November 2023. According to JAM, candidates are expected to print their examination slips from 10th April 2024. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omono during the week directed the immediate release of an additional 1.5 billion naira for payment of outstanding gratuities of retired workers in the state. But Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ekerete Odo, who disclosed the news, said it was a further confirmation of the Governor's resolve to fulfill his pact with workers in the state. Recall that during his campaign, Pastor Omono had promised to continue paying backlogs of gratuities from where his immediate predecessor in office had stopped. Before the current release, 5.3 billion naira had been released by the governor for retired workers in the state, an attestation to the governor's humane disposition to the people of the state. A few weeks ago, an additional 1-month salary, otherwise called 13th month salary or a number, was approved for a civil servant in the state to bring Christmas cheer. Governor Omoino has, in under 6 months in office, touched on the critical pillars of the Arise agenda, especially in rural development, education, healthcare, security, and infrastructural maintenance. Still to come in the news. Presidency backs CBN on bank recapitalization. Investors rush for mega bank stocks. To stay with us.
Christmas season is here again. Are you aware that making your business or products visible on a television space gives your brand a wider visibility and patronage? In the spirit of the season, Spectrum Television is offering a whopping 25% discount on all services. Advertise your products and services while this offer lasts from 1st December 2023 to January 31st, 2024. We are a television with a passion to take your business and services on a satisfactory lane. You do not want to miss this opportunity. For more inquiries, visit our city office at number 2 Taft Plaza Close off Akaitinen Road, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, or call the following numbers on your screen. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon. For premium broadcasts and entertainment, sports on the go, and news from the world, watch Spectrum TV on StarTimes DTH channel 421 and free-to-air frequency 12733. Visit our website SpectrumTVLive.ng. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
One truth not often told is about the transformation that Africa has undergone in recent decades. Africa is shaping its own destiny and should be referred to as the African opportunity. On Spotlight Africa, we paint the African picture the African way, laced with truth, detail, and the color of the African continent. Join Uyai Anyekan every Tuesday and Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Spotlight Africa, telling the African story.
Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. Now to Africa, where government in the Democratic Republic of Congo within the week expressed regret at the European Union's decision to withdraw its electoral observation mission from the country. DR Congo is set to hold presidential and parliamentary elections on December 20th, with 23 candidates running for president amid a tense political climate. In a statement, the government said it was committed to successfully holding the elections. Information Technology, IT and Management Retreat held between 26 and 28 November. With the transparency, inclusiveness and freedom, as well as all observing missions wishing to work in accordance with the law and regulations of DR Congo. The EU said it withdrew its election observation team after it failed to obtain the necessary authorization to deploy essential communication equipment such as satellite telephones and internet kits. Meanwhile, Uganda's finance ministry during the week announced plans to borrow a $150 million loan from China's Exim Bank to develop the country's internet infrastructure. Uganda's ICT minister and junior finance minister presented the proposal to the Parliamentary Committee on National Economy. The move highlights Uganda's growing reliance on China for funding after the World Bank suspended funding in August due to Uganda's adoption of a contentious anti-homosexuality law. But the country is also in talks with Chinese Export Credit Agency for a loan to help fund a $5 billion pipeline through the Uganda's plans to export crude oil to Tanzania. Elsewhere, Niger's military junta in the course of a week overturned an anti-migration law that criminalized the transportation of migrants through the country. The junta announced the repeal of the law in a statement, noting that the junta leader, General Abdurrahman Chiani, had signed a decree revoking it. Reports say the law was introduced in 2015 with the European Union backing the help, reduced the flow of West Africans to Europe. Still in Africa, Niger within the week reportedly started running its biggest solar power plant, filling in the shortage brought about by a cut of imported power supply from neighboring Nigeria in July. The Energy Minister, Mohamed Mustafa Barake, said the quality of electricity supply had improved in the capital and other towns following the coming online of solar plants. Barake noted that the plant has, however, 55,000 solar panels and can generate 30 megawatts of electricity. On a foreign scene, the United States House of Representatives has voted to expel indicted Republican George Santos over criminal corruption charges and accusations of misspending campaign funds. The House voted 311 to 114 to immediately remove the controversial freshman lawmaker. Above two-thirds majority required to ask one of its own. Reports say Santos, age 35, became the sixth member to be expelled from the House. The New York congressman is the first to be kicked out without having fought for the Confederacy or being convicted of a crime. Meanwhile, a U.S. military aircraft with 8 personnel on board within a week crashed off Yakushima Island in Japan. Japan's Coast Guard told newsmen that rescue workers have found a passenger who was not breathing. Officials noted that the remains of the plane have likely been found off Yakushima. Reports say the CV-22 Osprey was trying to land at Yakushima Airport while its left engine was on fire. The aircraft was thought to be heading from Iwakuni base to the Yamaguchi region of Kadena base in Okinawa. Elsewhere, the joint UK and Ireland investment of more than £16 million is reportedly set to be announced to create 2 new science research centres to look at climate change. The announcement is expected to be made at the British and Irish Intergovernmental Conference BIIGC in Dublin later. Reports say the centres will focus on areas such as biodiversity and food sustainability. According to reports, the announcement will be made by the Irish and UK Science Ministers Simon Harris and Michelle Donnellan, as well as Katrina Godfrey, the civil servant in charge of Northern Ireland's Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs, DAERA. In the meantime, New Zealand's health experts during the week criticized the sudden reversal of a new government to scrap the nation's world-leading smoking ban to fund tax cuts. The experts said the legislation introduced under the previous Jacinda Ardern-led government would have banned cigarette sales next year to anyone born after 2008. According to them, smoking is the leading cause of preventable deaths in New Zealand, and the policy had a mean to stop young generation from picking up the habits. And still on the foreign scene, the Director General of the World Health Organization, WHO, Tedros Ghebreyesus, in the course of a week said overcrowding and lack of food, water, sanitation and basic hygiene are hastening spread of disease in Gaza. Ghebreyesus said the lack of functioning infrastructure or access to medicine had resulted in a growing number of infections among the approximately 1.3 million people displaced in Gaza. According to Ghebreyesus, 110,000 people have acute respiratory infections, more than 70,000 have some level of diarrhea, and thousands are plagued by other diseases including scabies, lice, skin rashes, impetigo, chickenpox and jaundice. He called for a continued ceasefire and warned that the current conditions in the Strip heighten the risk of disease outbreaks. On our business news, the presidency within the week expressed support for the banking sector consolidation initiative of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, saying it would help the country to grow the economy to a new height. This came barely 5 days after the CBN said it will ask banks to raise new capital. According to the presidency, it has become important to consider the capital adequacy of Nigerian banks in light of the projected $1 trillion economy in 8 years. Meanwhile, the federal government during the week approved a sum of 3 billion naira for airport scanners. This is in a bid to reduce multiple agencies involved in manual bag checks at the airport. The Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, disclosed this to newsmen after the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting presided over by President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He said a proposed solution involves the supply and installation of state-of-the-art customized explosive and narcotic detection screening systems. According to him, the approved contract will cover major international airports in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt, and Enugu states.
Since I came to office, we have been inundated with complaints of the harrowing experiences that passengers go through at the airports where they have to physically search their bags. And so it's for the approval of the award of contract for the supply and installation of customized explosive and narcotics detection screening systems with remote and dual view for the international airports of Abuja, Lagos, Kano, Port Harcourt.
In the meantime, the federal government, through the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, in the course of a week, assured foreign investors of low production costs in the country's mining sector. Speaking at the Mines and Money Conference in London, Alake said President Bola Tinubu has embarked on reforms to boost investment by streamlining procedures and reducing hurdles to attract foreign investors. According to a statement by the minister's aide, Kehinde Bami Beton, Alake said the country's geological bounty encompasses over 44 distinct mineral types found in exploitable quantities across more than 500 locations. He added that by adding value to the country's raw materials, the ministry not only create higher value products, but also generate employment opportunities for Nigeria teeming youth and increase in the sector's overall profitability and contribution to the nation's GDP. Still in business, the federal government, through the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, within the week constituted a housing reform team of experts and stakeholders to develop a robust framework of the housing sector and ensure that housing agencies under the supervision of the ministry are enhanced to provide affordable homes for Nigerians. In a statement by the ministry's Director of Information, Badamasi Haiba, he also stated that the reform team would deliberate on necessary legislative amendments such as the Land Use Act 1978, National Housing Fund 1992, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria Establishment Act 1993, Federal Housing Authority Act 1973, among others. The minister made his disclosure during a meeting with a delegation from the Housing Development Advocacy Network, led by Ugochukwu Chime, at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. He explained that the reform team would be made up of representatives from hardened agencies, professional bodies, as well as academia to develop a robust framework for the reform of the housing sector by thoroughly reviewing relevant laws. And still to come in the news, Scotland to be relegated to Nations League B after a draw with Belgium. Stay with us.
Every day marks a day of significance.
That in view of the apology tendered by this former minister who had earlier been cleared by this August Assembly,
as we face critical issues, developments and events which shape our social and political landscape here in Nigeria and beyond. Political Spectrum is a program specially designed to help make sense of all the moving parts of developments and occurrences in our nation's polity and political economy.
There is nothing wrong with Nigeria, but there's everything wrong.
The educational history of public figures holds significance beyond mere biographical details.
From executive, legislative and judicial developments at national and subnational levels to international diplomacy and relations.
Join us for exclusive interviews with key political figures, expert opinions, analysts, thought-provoking conversations for and against, shedding light on the major issues that matter. We will always keep you updated on the most factual, smartest and unbiased reportage.
Stay tuned to Political Spectrum. Political Spectrum. All sides matter at the round table. Political Spectrum. Exclusive to Spectrum Television.
Nigerian police, which is the only one allowed by grossly abused. Our governors have to share police powers with the president as stipulated by the Constitution. We do not have a federal government police force. We have the Nigerian police force, which shall be administered, organized, and supervised by the Nigerian police force.
No, my lord, I want to say something. I want to say something here. Perhaps it might also enlarge the scope of people who should be invited here for examination. My lord, if we cannot find those who literally murdered Abiola, who are those people who could be said to be the beneficiaries of the death of Abiola?
Rogers has linked you with some of the killings he did.
He never did.
He linked you with the attempted murder of Hebrew.
He did not.
My lord, the Matters Council is leading the evidence in our matters.
Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord, but we can't be talking about cases which are in court,
my lord. Is this an adversary proceeding?
It's not, my lord. These cases are in court, my lord. I'm just reminding your lordship.
My Lord, sorry, my Lord, I think I'll be in cross-examination.
Legally Speaking, a program that deals with legal issues and questions we face as citizens of this amazing country, Nigeria. Legally Speaking. Join us every
Friday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
for Legally Speaking.
Christmas season is here again. Are you aware that making your business or products visible on a television space gives your brand a wider visibility and patronage? In the spirit of the season, Spectrum Television is offering a whopping 25% discount on all services. Advertise your products and services while this offer lasts from 1st December 2023 to January 31st, 2024. We are a television with a passion to take your business and services on a satisfactory lane. You do not want to miss this opportunity. For more inquiries, visit our city office at number 2 Taft Plaza Close off Akaitinen Road, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, or call the following numbers on your screen. Spectrum TV, broadening your horizon.
Business exists only to meet the needs of the people, but there's an extra advantage if your product and services are pitched on a platform that gives you the added advantage over your competitors. For your desired return on investment and so much more, advertise on Spectrum Television, on StarTimes DTH Channel 421 and on free-to-air with a frequency of 12733. Spectrum Television, broadening your horizon.
Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. On our health news, the United Nations during the week said it is still possible to end the AIDS scourge by 2030. This, the UN said, can be achieved only if communities and services on the ground are given the means. The UNAIDS agency said in its annual World AIDS Day reports that community-led responses are unrecognized, under-resourced, and in some places under attack. The agency said programs delivered by frontline community-based organizations need full support from government and donors to end the AIDS pandemic. Elsewhere, medical practitioners have given reasons why people should maintain good oral hygiene at all times, disclosing that poor oral hygiene has been linked to serious health conditions like cancer, heart attacks, and renal failure. According to them, poor oral hygiene can lead to the growth of bacteria in the mouth, which can then travel to other parts of the body and cause serious damage. The expert maintain that taking care of one's oral hygiene is not only about brushing and flossing, but about visiting the dentist regularly for checkups and cleanings. They added that chronic kidney patients are found to suffer numerous systematic complications that may contribute to poor oral health and cause heart disease. And still in health, medical experts have also warned that prolonged use of painkillers can cause irreversible damage to the liver and may even lead to death. They noted that depending on painkillers to manage chronic pain could damage vital organs of the body, especially the liver if taken over a long period. The physicians explained that the reasons why over-reliance on painkillers could cause such massive damage to the liver and kidneys was because they reduce the production of prostaglandins, which they are chemicals said to help to protect the organs. According to them, painkillers can lead to severe health complications by destroying the body's natural defense mechanism. In sports, Scotland will be relegated to League B of the Women's Nations League despite dominating in a draw with Belgium. Erin Cuthbert's sublime strike from distance cancelled out Marie Detrire's tidy opener in Leuven, but it was not enough for a Scotland side requiring a win to prolong their stay in the top division. Substitute Amy Gallagher came closest to netting a winner, passing up a glorious opportunity to score her first international goal by missing the target from close range. Meanwhile, Pedro Martinez lost the side finish the campaign by welcoming European champions England to Hampton on Tuesday. Elsewhere, Wales have been relegated from the top tier of the Nations League after they were beaten 2-1 by Iceland in Cardiff. Hildur Antonovsdottir's goal against the run of play in the first half ended Welsh hope of a victory they required to ensure they avoided relegation. Iceland doubled their advantage when substitute Dilja Zomas fired home a lovely effort from distance. Meanwhile, substitute Els Hog's injury time header came too late to give Wales a chance of staging a comeback. And still in sport, India beat a much-changed Australia to compete a T20 series victory in Raipur. A career-best 46 from Rinku Singh helped India post 174.9 despite Ben Dwashiri's taking 340. Australia, who won the third T20 on Tuesday, got off to a flying start thanks to the in from Travis Head, who smashed 31 off 16 balls. However, India's spinners applied the squeeze, and despite Matthew Wade's late hitting, Australia fell short. Wade smashed 36 off 23 balls, but India's 20-run win means they go 3-1 up in the series with 1 to play. The final match of the series will be played in Hyderabad on Sunday. On our entertainment news, famous Nigerian Afrobeat singer Davido's latest song, Timeless, has been ranked as the most streamed album in sub-Saharan Africa. The singer's album, Timeless, was recently nominated for the Best Global Album at the 2024 Grammy nominations. On the list of Spotify's most streamed albums in sub-Saharan Africa in 2023, Davido's Timeless finished top ahead of Ashake's Work of Art and Burna Boy's I Told Them. Meanwhile, Afrobeat superstar Rema has cancelled his scheduled performances for the rest of 2023 to focus on his health. Following successful tours in Europe, Asia and North America, Rema's sudden announcement is reportedly a big blow for his planned homecoming tour of Abuja, Lagos and his native Benin in December. He was also billed to perform at the Hey Neighbor Music Festival scheduled to take place between December 8 and 10 in South Africa. The decision to cancel his show follows the latest achievement of his Calm Down song, making chart history on both Apple Music and Spotify. And still on entertainment news, Nigerian singer Paul Okoye, better known as Root Boy of the P-Square, within a week urged his colleagues in the entertainment industry to invest the proceeds of their talent when they are still making waves. The reason, with me, Krona's advice is against the backdrop of veteran Nigerian entertainers coming out to seek public assistance due to health reasons or economic hardship. He says the situation is making the entertainment industry lose its prestige. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTVLive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News, the Win the Week. I am Rachel David White. Happy weekend.